I'm back again with another controversial video regarding Subaru and his love for Rem. We know that the main theme of ReZero is about love, whether it's about Subaru loving himself or loving others. However, there is one aspect that many fans of ReZero cannot agree on. Who does Subaru love? Now, love is a complex topic, so for the sake of the video, I will break down love into two separate components. These two types are as follows: platonic love and romantic love. Now, for those of you that don't know what those words mean, romantic love is the love that you feel towards someone you're attracted to, whether or not that be a crush, a significant other, a spouse, and usually there's a sexual component involved. Platonic love is the opposite, wherein you love someone but there's no sexual element. In other words, platonic love is usually held towards family members, friends, siblings. So for example, if Subaru loved Otto, that didn't mean he wanted to bend Otto over a table or anything. It just means that he loves Otto as a friend with no sexual attachment. So since romantic love is harder to prove, it's best to first start with a lower hurdle, which is platonic love. So we need to now look at the light novel to see if we can find evidence for Subaru loving his friends platonically. And we can actually do that. In fact, in Arc 2, for example, when Subaru jumps off the cliff, he states that he loves both Ram and Rem. Now, of course, this is just when Subaru has met him, and obviously he doesn't romantically love Ram, for example. So this shows platonic love, and it's a clear-cut case that he loves his friends. In fact, we can go further. In Arc 6, Subaru specifically states that he returns by death because he loves his friends. He wants to save them. He wants to make sure they're all okay. So again, we do know that Subaru does love his friends. So this is, of course, Rem, Garfiel, Otto, Petra, and so on and so forth. So yes, Subaru does love his friends. So we have proved that using evidence from the light novel and web novel. So let's actually go to the higher hurdle. Who does Subaru romantically love? As you can imagine, this is where the video gets a bit spicy, because I actually asked you guys what you think the answer is. And the first question I asked you was, does Subaru love Rem romantically? And as you can see from the data, a large majority of you say yes. However, there's still quite a lot of people that say no. If we were to compare this with Emilia, who I'm pretty sure we can all agree with that Subaru loves romantically, you can see that it's a 9-to-1 ratio. So the question is, why are some people so unsure on whether or not Subaru loves Rem romantically? And hopefully I can sort of dissect why people are unsure. Now, of course, the reason why most people believe that Subaru doesn't love Rem romantically is due to the whole Rem's confession speech. As you know, in Season 1, Episode 18, Rem gives a love confession, a romantic confession to Subaru, and at the end of this entire speech, Subaru rejects Rem and says, "I love Emilia," showing that Subaru romantically loves Emilia, and this was memed in the community. If we follow the logic of Subaru romantically loving Rem, then it would make no sense for Subaru to reject Rem. After all, if he romantically loved Rem, why would he reject her? He would actually say, "Oh, I love you as well," you know? However, he doesn't say that. He actually rejects Rem, and he even calls himself a bad person for rejecting Rem and saying that he loves Emilia. The second argument when it comes to Rem between both sides of the spectrum is usually the polygamy angle. Now, for those that don't know, just before the White Whale fight, Rem states that she's happy with being Subaru's second wife, and Subaru states that they could ask Emilia. Now, many people take this as being a sort of confession or acceptance by Subaru to take Rem as his second wife. So many people that believe that Subaru romantically loves Rem will say, actually, look here, Subaru wants Rem as his wife. However, people against this argument will actually refer to the narration, because if you look at the full narration, it states that Rem and sort of Subaru were acting in a joking manner which broke the tension. and Subaru realizes it, and he realizes how weak he is, as you can see from the narration on screen. So many people take this to be sort of hyperbolic rather than a literal confession to be the second wife, and Rem is simply doing this to sort of make Subaru feel at ease, considering they're literally about to go fight the White Whale. The next argument usually crops up around Rem faking her death after the White Whale fight. In this section, Rem tells Subaru as her dying wish to hear the words "I love you" from Subaru's lips, and of course Subaru, believing that Rem is dying, confesses his love to her, and of course Rem starts pretending that she's dying. Now of course the narration states that Subaru is giving out his true feelings here when he says that he really loves Rem. Now of course people against this idea will state, well yeah, of course Subaru does love Rem, but not romantically. The next argument usually stems from the talk with Kenichi during the first trial on Arc 4. So this is when Kenichi and Subaru are sitting on the bench, and of course Subaru talks about the fact that he loves someone. And what's really interesting is many people will pull up the screenshot, which you can see on screen now. As you can see, Kenichi states, "You found a girl you like, and you said there was a girl who said she likes you." So of course Subaru found a girl that he likes, referring to Emilia, and the girl that likes Subaru is Rem. And then Subaru states that he has 2 number 1 stars, which means that Emilia and Rem are on the same pedestal. So many people state that Subaru loves both of them. In fact, the narration states that he loves Emilia and he loves Rem. However, people who are against this idea will literally scroll back up 1 page where Subaru literally says, "I found a girl I like, so I'm alright now." And as he says that, he literally pictures Emilia. So again, this shows that he loves both Rem and Emilia, but he sees Emilia as the romantic component and Rem is more platonic. Another point of contention is of course the Hall of Memories scene in Arc 6, where both versions of Subaru argue over Rem, and on screen you can see the dialogue between the 2 Subarus where they argue over Rem. So people will say, oh, this shows that Subaru loves Rem romantically. However, what people will say against this is that in the exact same chapter, Subaru confesses his love to Emilia in the exact same chapter, and on screen you can see the comparison between Subaru's love for Rem and Subaru's love for Emilia, and of course you can decide whether or not they're both the same type of love yourself. So let's move to Arc 7. Most of you know that during the death loop, Yona kisses Subaru and tells Subaru to love her, of course enacting the soul marriage technique. However, Subaru states that there's a girl that he likes and he envisions the person, and of course because he cannot love Yona, he cannot be blessed by the soul marriage technique. Again, notice how there's only 1 girl that Subaru likes, not 2 girls or a multitude of girls. There's only 1 girl that Subaru says that he likes. This girl's identity is then revealed when Yona talks about the fact that Chaos Flame essentially allows people to not be discriminated against, and Subaru then believes, what's the difference between this and the world desired by the girl Subaru liked? Now for those that don't remember, this is literally the exact same thing that Emilia wanted when she became the king of Lagunica, which shows that the girl that Subaru likes romantically is Emilia, and Subaru makes no reference to Rem anywhere in this. I'll now end this video on the carriage ride, where I think the most important piece of information is revealed. So when Subaru is in the carriage with Emilia just before the Who's Rem moment, the narration states this. It states that Subaru harbored deep feelings for Rem that were special in their own way, even if they were different from those he felt for Emilia. So again, it seems to sort of indicate that Subaru's feelings for Rem are different than the feelings he has for Emilia, despite them being the exact same size and strength. So again, it seems to sort of indicate that, you know, Subaru's feelings towards Rem may not be romantic considering it's differentiated from his feelings towards Emilia, which we do know is romantic, considering his numerous love confessions and the fact that he went out and he kissed Emilia. So does Subaru love Rem? Yes. Does Subaru romantically love Rem? Well, I'll let you decide on that. Thank you for watching.